Hey, Coach, from a preparation standpoint, a little bit different this week since you're playing an opponent that you generally don't see very often until about this time of year. Anything changed for you guys this week in your preparation?
Well, not really. I mean, we just, we had to wait till we got film on them. And, we went through the same process as coaches and, that we always go through. The only difference is, like you said, we know a little bit about who we're playing during the conference, except for Knightstown this year because they were a new opponent for us as well. But, we have a pretty good idea of what we're going to see from other teams in our conference that we prepare for. Edinburgh was a little bit of an unknown, so being able to watch some film and see what they were doing offensively and defensively, it just – I don't want to say it puts us behind a little bit, but, we have to look at everything carefully and brand new, and, we don't already have any preconceived ideas of what they're going to do.
You'd mentioned to me last week just a little bit about them, that they're very similar to what you have, low in numbers, and certainly depth will be an issue coming up this week. Do you still see the same thing in what you've seen in film now?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think, we got both teams that are struggling with numbers a little bit. Not necessarily from what you had to start with, but what you have right now. We're down to about 17 kids and that are dressing. So, because of that, it makes it a little bit tougher to prepare. But, they're in the same boat that we are. They, when I talked to their coaches at the sectional meeting, they were kind of saying the same thing. They had anywhere from 17 to 19 kids practicing. So,
and again, this might be a really silly question to ask, but can you really have the type of practice you want to have in the preparations when you only can dress maybe 17, 18 kids and try to simulate as much as you can through practice out during the week?
Well, it makes it tough. We have to, we have to draft some coaches a little bit to stand in places and do some things. I've been playing scout team quarterback this week because they like to throw the ball a little bit, and all our quarterbacks are hurt. Our other quarterback plays defense, so. I know how to throw the football, so I get to be scout team quarterback this week.
But you can't dress out Friday, right?
No, I cannot. I don't want to. I'm at 55. I don't want to dress with high school kids.
Coach, before we talk about your situation this week from a health standpoint, because that's something we talked about for the last several weeks, you mentioned that Edinburgh likes to throw a little bit. Talk about their offensive scheme and what do you expect?
Well, they'll be in a lot of doubles and some trip stuff, and that they'll throw some quads out there every once in a while. Put four receivers on one side, so they like to try to spread you out a little bit and try to hit some seams and some gaps, and that's basically what we've seen. They got a couple pretty good kids. Number 8. He plays some in the backfield, but they'll put him out as a receiver as well. And he's not real tall. He's about maybe 5'10", 5'11", but he's a big, strong kid. And I've seen him make some good catches, and he runs the ball hard. So we need to know where he's at. Is he in the backfield or is he out in the pattern somewhere?
From a defensive standpoint, what do you see and what do they try to do against your offense?
Well, I've seen them play a little bit of 5-3 and a little bit of 4-3, depending on the offensive set that they're going against. Usually what I've seen on film is when there's a tight end, they like to play a 5-man front and play a 5-3 type of look. And then, if you spread them out and go doubles or trips, they'll generally, not always, but generally drop into a 4-3 and get an extra linebacker in there for coverage.
All right, let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that's the injuries again this week. You already mentioned about the quarterback situation. Where are you at right there, and what will you look at this week?
Well, Alex Birch, who was a freshman for us, started a couple games ago and had a really good game. He started against South Decatur as well, and in the third quarter he took a hit from behind and kind of fell forward and hit his head on the ground, and we're treating it as a concussion. So he's definitely not playing this week. Don't know what his status is moving forward if we should happen to win this week. So, we just don't know with him right now. But, most of the other kids are healthy. As far as, most of the other kids came out of the game healthy. It's just, it's been a long season. We got some kids that are banged up and, nothing major that'll keep them out of a game. But, it makes it tough to come out and practice that next week when you're sore and you got some not injuries, but when you're hurting a little bit.
Sounds like to me that, your kids have never Well, that guy likes us, doesn't he? Your kids, that's sweet, yeah. But your kids have just hung in there, and that's one thing about this group right now is they keep coming back week after week, no matter how tough it is.
Well, but that's what you got to do. I mean, the same thing football and in life. You can't always count on what's gonna be thrown at you, and you just got to make do, and you got to make adjustments and do the best you can. We've moved people around different spots, different places. My fullback's playing tight end this week. I've brought another freshman kid in to play some fullback position. We got another junior who's been playing mostly defense that will play some in the backfield. So, we've had to have some kids learn some. I got not really brand new stuff, but stuff they haven't been doing most of this year.
Yeah, just don't get that many reps, and when you're going to a game like this, it can be awful tough.
Yeah, absolutely. We try to get as much as we could this week. I will say, we gave them an extra day off this week. We didn't have school Monday, so I gave them Monday off just to kind of heal physically and mentally, and just try to get their heads together and be ready to go. And I thought we had a pretty good practice Tuesday and yesterday.